Hello. Today I'll show you how to extract text from PDF files using a simple method. We'll use Google Cloud's Document AI service to transform PDF documents into plain text with just one easy API call. Document AI is a powerful tool with many features, but we'll focus on its most basic function, converting PDFs into text. While we'll demonstrate this using bash commands, you can also use Python with the Python SDK if you prefer. Let's begin by setting up our environment. First, we need to create a new Google Cloud project and access the Document AI service. Before we start extracting text, there are a few important setup steps we need to complete. We'll start by exploring the available processors and enabling the API. For our basic text extraction needs, we'll use what's called the Document OCR processor. While there are other processors available for more complex tasks like analyzing tables or forms, the Document OCR processor is perfect for our simple text extraction goal. We'll create this processor by giving it a name. Since it's a pre-built processor, this process should be quick. The most important part is getting the prediction endpoint. This is the specific web address we'll use to send our PDFs and receive the extracted text. Next, we'll open Google Cloud Shell, which lets us make API calls without worrying about authentication. If you plan to make API calls from somewhere else, you'll just need to add authentication to your requests. It's still quite simple. For testing purposes, we need a PDF file. We'll use a research paper from Meta as our example. To get this file into Cloud Shell, we'll click the More button in Cloud Shell, select Upload, choose the file, select where to save it, create a new directory for our work, and move the file to that directory. Now that we have our file ready, let's work on creating our command to extract the text. We'll need to build a curl command that communicates with the API. This command needs several important pieces. First, we need the API endpoint. This is like an address where we'll send our PDF. We also need an authorization header with something called a bearer token, which we can create using the Google Cloud Command Line tool or gcloud CLI. We'll tell the API we're sending JSON data and then include our actual PDF content. An important detail is that we need to convert our PDF content into what's called base64 encoding before we send it. This is necessary because we're sending the PDF through an API. It's worth noting that if you're working with very large PDFs, ones with hundreds or thousands of pages, you might need to split them into smaller parts. We also need to specify the MIME type, which in our case is Application PDF. Document AI can actually handle images too, which is why we need to specify this. When we first try to run our command, we encounter an error. The API tells us there's an issue with the length of our JSON data. To fix this, we'll save our JSON to a file and use a tool called JQ to make sure it's formatted correctly. The format looks good, but we discover another issue. Our PDF has too many pages to process at once. To solve this, we use a tool called pdftk to split our PDF into two parts. We verify that everything worked correctly by checking the file sizes. The sizes of Part 1 and Part 2 should approximately add up to our original file. With our smaller PDF parts, we try the API call again. This time, it works. We get back a lot of information, not just the text, but also details about where each piece of text was located in the PDF. To make this more manageable, we use a JSON parser to extract just the text we want. We save the extracted text from part 1 as text1.txt, and then repeat the process for part 2, saving it as text2.txt. We can then combine these files into one complete text document. The results are impressive. The system understands the structure of our PDF, including things like columns, and organizes the text accordingly. It's not just copying text, it's intelligently understanding how the text is laid out in a document. For those who plan to use this in a professional or production environment, there's an important recommendation. Instead of setting up Document AI processors manually like we did, it's better to use a tool called Terraform. Terraform helps automate the setup process, making it more reliable and easier to manage. However, our manual setup method works perfectly fine for testing and learning purposes. You can even test your setup directly in the Google Cloud Console by uploading sample documents. If you'd like to support the channel, consider starting a free trial of our new design tool, which is linked in the description, and let us know what you think. We'll include all the code and diagram files in the description, and we'll keep an eye on the comment section for any questions. Thank you very much for watching to the end, and please enjoy responsibly.